Hey, how you doing? This is John, and welcome to John's Long Box. I'm here with Batt Murk. How you doing?
Oh, I'm doing great, man. Doing great. Just trying to cool down. I was on with the LS mat about an hour ago. And it's sweating it up over here in California, man. It's hot. We're having a heat wave, so
Oh yeah.
yeah,
It happened. I'm in New York, and we're having weird weather. It's like cold one day, hot the next. Cold.
bipolar, huh?
Yeah, and because of that, the streets are just filled with potholes.
Horrible. I hate those
2 weeks
things.
ago there was a foot of snow on my lawn, and then the other day girls had shorts over at the Dunkin' Donuts. And then it was freezing rain yesterday. It's weird.
It's
Yeah.
wild. You like Dunkin' more? Or you like Starbucks?
What's that?
You like Dunkin' Donuts more? Or you like Starbucks?
Tim Hortons.
Is that a mom and popper coffee shop or something?
They don't have it in California. Tim Hortons
No.
is the biggest coffee chain in Canada,
Oh wow,
and they're bringing it to New York.
nice.
And I love Tim Hortons, but to get to the highway to go to work, I pass the Dunkin' Donuts. To get to the Tim Hortons, I got to go out of my way. And in the morning, when I'm leaving to work, I wait till the last possible minute. So I'm not gonna
Right.
drive for a cup of coffee. But I go to the Dunkin' Donuts. But yeah, I buy big old tins of Tim Hortons. That's my coffee of choice. I don't like Starbucks. I don't like Starbucks. Like, I would rather not have coffee than have Starbucks.
Right. I heard that grinding it's the best now. I'm hearing all kinds of crazy stuff. I don't want to repeat, but yes, you kind of want to grind your own coffee now is what I'm hearing.
Oh, okay.
That'll be
Yeah.
a first for me pretty soon. But yeah, I do the Dunkin'. You know,
I don't like Dunkin' Donuts. They just
Mm-mm.
taste like sugar.
yeah, they do.
Like, I used to just eat them because I was like, you get but then the Tim Hortons donuts actually have flavor. I mean, they're sweet, but like a fudge donut tastes like fudge. A vanilla donut tastes like, but there's local donut places that,
I like those the most. The mom and poppers. I got tons of them
yeah,
out here. The real
there's a
heavy
place
ones.
like I could walk to, and it's
Yeah.
Glen Way, I think it's called. It's a real local Suffolk County thing, and it's really good. Like, they got a crumb cake. I don't know if that's big, but New York crumb cake is really big.
I got to go up there sometime. My buddy, well, you know Brian Criscow, my
Yeah.
homie. He lives up there. He's also the editor on Hell War.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. Brian's a
one
good.
of these
We'll
days.
talk about Brian in a bit.
He's
Yeah,
selling a comic collection right now too.
he offered me first dibs.
Ah,
And
okay.
I literally have every comic in his collection. So,
Oh, for
and
sure.
I'm getting a little cramped in my comic book room.
I got you. Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. I'm the same way. I don't have anything what you have, but I got
Oh,
a little bit. And it's just like, oh snaps.
Yeah, every time anybody mentions my comic book collection, I got to put up this picture.
I think I know which one. I think I might have seen it last time I was on, about a year or two ago, maybe.
Yeah, probably. I show everyone. It's funny because I'm
Yep,
running
that's
out
it.
of room, so I felt bad for Brian because he offered me first dibs, but
Brian's like, there's a little hole up there on the right.
yeah, but I literally have every comic that was on his list.
Oh man,
Yeah, and he has some good stuff too.
he does. He does.
And he was at, hey John, so can you give me any advice on how to sell a comic? I was like, I've never sold a comic. I sell my comic,
okay. Mhm.
but I've never sold anything from my collection. My comic collection is the black hole of comics. They go in, like, I'll have triples
And they never return.
copies. If it's if it's a cheapo comic, I'll give them to friends rather than sell them. So I've literally
Right.
never sold a comic.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
Just my comics.
Yeah. The comics that I make to sell,
Patriarch. Yeah.
that I'll sell. So I feel bad for Brian. And Brian has been reading my scripts, and it's
Yeah, that's good.
yeah. He's good. He's been very helpful because
He was telling me about your lore and about the stuff of your expertise in certain areas of characterizations and what have you.
oh, really? You can talk about my stories with Brian? Cool. That's a
Yeah.
good sign. You
Yeah.
wouldn't be talking about it if you didn't like it.
I haven't even read. I have Patriarch 1 and 2. I haven't read them yet. I have so many freaking books. I just got Lobo and Battle Beast today. Yeah, and a bunch of other books, man. I've had a big weekend.
That's my immediate 2 reads stack.
Oh, holy moly!
Yeah.
Mine's kind of like that too. It's like
It's funny.
Our-
I put a picture on Twitter yesterday, and it's got like 6,000 views and tweets and whatever
what's
it's
up?
called. Impressions. I don't even know what the word is.
yeah,
But it's Dan Slott crying about my comic is going to get canceled at issue 5. Can we get some people? Spectacular Spider-Man. I can't believe that they're crying to get readers for Spectacular a Spider-Man comic book is in danger of cancellation.
When that
so
happens,
I put a picture of me with Dan Slott. I have no beard. At the beginning of his career, we're hanging out, laughing and joking. I said, I have pictures going back with Dan Slott for years. My wife used to say I was the only Dan Slott fanboy in the world.
Yeah.
I go on Twitter to see if he wants to come on my channel. I'm blocked.
Oh yeah.
And then some guy was just like making fun of me, whatever. I was like, "Oh, hi Dan, is this your alt account?" Things like that. And the one guy goes, "It doesn't matter. You're not a comic book fan anyway." So I put that picture up. I said, I've been known to buy a comic or two in my lifetime.
Maybe one or two.
Owning a lot of comics doesn't mean you're a fan.
Okay.
So I was just like, there's no point talking to you.
Sometimes you hit a brick wall, man.
I guess in you're like a guy like you who owns no comics is a better fan. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I like to think that having over 55,000 comic books makes me a little bit of a fan.
Right.
But that's Twitter for you. Crazy people.
Oh yeah. People go nuts on Twitter.
Yeah, and Brian, for those of you who are watching this don't know, Brian Christow wrote a comic called Six Gun Gorilla that I've been singing the praises. I really, really like that comic.
Yeah, it's great. It was like holding tears back reading it. That's no soy. It's just like, what the fuck? It hit me. And I was like, okay, that's good. And I'm just thinking, I want to rip some hearts out with my book too, if I can, and it's not easy. It's not easy,
So we'll bring up your comic in a second. I just wanted to finish off. So I met Brian Christow at Graham Nolan's cigar party like 2 years ago. We were literally talking about comics during the birthday party incident. If anybody knows what that is, it's now part of Comicsgate lore. So I was literally there, and then I like Six Gun Gorilla so much. I asked Brian if I could do like a little Easter egg in a future story. So he said, cool. Yeah. So
yeah, that's cool. That's dope.
There'll be a Six Gun Gorilla Easter egg in a future story.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, you got a comic too. So
yeah.
Hell War. Tell this. I like this title. Why is it not technical difficulties? Oh, I thought I just shut off the stream for a second. Here we go. Let's bring this up. What is going on? I tell you, man, StreamYard's getting more and more expensive, and it's getting crappier and crappier to use. There we go. So tell us about Hell War. Oh, it's live already. I thought you were about to go live.
Oh yeah, I went live on Friday. Luckily, got to go on Michael Bancroft's.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
he's another great guy. I love Michael Bancroft too. He's a great guy.
He is, man. And it's kind of a hard sell because it's the book is it's the size of like an album, like a metal record. That was the whole concept that I wanted to do behind it. It's basically 12 by 12 or 11.8 by 11.8, and it's got really raw art, black and white. It's gonna have coffee stains. You're gonna see whiteout in there. You're gonna see like the photocopied edges of the book. It's gonna look like basically the band itself. There's a band in there, and they put it together. Like you found it like in the back alley record store.
So let me. It's almost like it's a bootleg record.
Exactly, and it's square. It's square format. So
are you familiar with the Aerosmith had an album called Bootleg?
Nah, I didn't know that. I mean, I probably heard it, but
the album.
I didn't know that.
The band Aerosmith, one of their early albums, was called Bootleg, and that it looked like it was poorly made. You know what I mean? Like
that's how this is.
Literally had coffee stained rings on the cover and everything like that, and you could see like the white. So yeah, I love that.
Same concept, exactly, brother. Yeah. And it's all black and white. And the first 13 pages are up there, so if people want to test ride Hell War, it's there. So I might make a couple tweaks. Brian's editing it right now too, but they're there. A bunch of you metalheads that'll pick it up. You're going to see little nods to classic metal. Metal from the 90s. The book does take place in the 90s. Okay, so that's the format of the book. So we get past that. Also, if you guys check out, there's a song that I did with my band, and it's on the updates. The song is Hell War, and the story is it's about this biker Viking that's been around for hundreds of years, and he's been working for the goddess of hell, which is Hell Nora. That's her on the left right there, and it's his last day on the job, and it's basically the last day of his saga. He has one more final mission to complete. And once he's done with that, she's going to set him free, and she's going to set his brother Wreckbolt free. And that's the most important thing to him in the world is letting him and his younger brother free. But you know what happens is she's got one more ace up her sleeve, and she's going to want him to do one more thing. So they're going to he has to fight off biker gangs, Nordic kaijus, like Garm from Hell, the Hellhound, others that I can't I don't want to spoil too much, but it's definitely packed with art. Action, and it's not too heady of a story. It's just like a fun 20 to 40 minute read. 106 pages. It's pretty much all done. Now it's just in the editing. Wow. It's ready to go. Everyone that backs the printed tier, they're going to get a glow in the dark guitar pick. They're going to get a poster, and they're going to get a bumper sticker. So they're going to get all that. And like I said, you got the song up there. You could click on the first 13 pages. Hopefully people like it or they hate it, and they're not just bored with it.
I really like this art.
Well, thanks. That right there is a cover by Preston Azevedo, my homie. He, I was lucky. I was blessed to get him to do it. Got some Preston right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got that with him. Luckily, I got to do a jam piece. I did the runes on the side. That was me. And
I really, really like this. I mean, my two older brothers are bikers.
Oh, okay. Then they might like it, and you might like it too, bro, because you're in the
like you being hanging out with my two older brothers.
Perfect. My uncle was a biker too. Out here in Bellflower, but he's dead now. Oh. And also on the back, there's runes that Preston went on there. So if you were to get a translator, you could read those runes. He's like, all right, here's the cover. Just don't cover up my fucking runes.
Where?
Like, I won't. Yeah. Okay. It's nothing. It's not a spell or nothing. It has to pertain to Preston, and it's metal. So
yeah, these are the actual runic letters. Yeah,
yes, sir. Yeah,
I'm doing a Viking story too. So
I think I remember you're talking about that. So.
Yeah, I'm doing the origin of Santa Claus told by Odin, who's trying to escape Ragnarok.
I remember you're talking about that. I want to get that.
Yeah,
I had a Santa Viking comic too.
Finalized because it's like I'm trying to do like a real historical biography of Saint Nicholas, my favorite saint.
Sick. That's awesome.
It's taken a long time.
I want to do a real quick, since Patty's Day is my favorite holiday. I want to do a St. Patrick's Snake Slayer. I also had a Santa Viking book similar to yours too, but it's not Odin. Okay. It's Kris Kringle, Krampus Killer.
Okay.
But it won't be the same. It'll be something different. We can still have our little play with it.
Well, it's all based on
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
All that fun old stuff.
Exactly.
So you're Irish, I take it?
Yeah, Burke. My real name is Matt Burke, so it's Batt.
It's so funny. It's so funny because my wife was like,
"It's your wife's name." I remember you telling me that last time.
Yeah, my wife is like, "Oh, Batt Murk. I bet his name is Matt Burke." And I was like,
because there's hundreds of us, so I had to change it.
That's
just branding, dude. It's easy. People can find my funny looking ass if I just put Batt Murk, and I'm everywhere, all over the internet. So it's
now you're a brand. Yeah.
Yeah, it used to be Metal Movies and Brewskis. So
yeah, Matt Burke is a guy who fixes your car.
Yeah,
is a guy who is a brand. So
yeah,
this is your art right here.
Yeah, that's the Hellbinger. So in the story, I was also going to get to is that once Batt Hellwar, if he doesn't play metal, slave with metal, or work with metal, he turns into the Hellbinger, and it's this mindless rage beast that he can't control. He can barely control it. So that's part of the curse that Hell Nora puts on him. I don't say that in the book, but you kind of can figure it out a little bit. I try not to like spoon feed everything into the book.
Yeah.
You kind of figure this stuff out with
that's a tightrope because I don't mean to take away from your time, but there's a couple of things already in my two comics that I thought was so obvious, and a couple of people just didn't get what I'm like. Oh man, I don't want to spoon feed it to you.
Yeah,
especially the Mary Sue story. So like I feel like I'm hitting like the follow up to Mary Sue story. I'm re-explaining what happened to the first. I don't know. Are people going to be like, "Oh, that was so obvious," or are people like, "That's what happened"?
Yeah,
it's a hard thing. You don't want to insult your audience, but you also, you don't want to be so vague that they don't get what you're doing.
Right. And also, Hell War. So it's on Earth. It's an alternate reality. It's a parallel dimension, and it's in the 90s. All the fallen gods from Ragnarok. This is post Ragnarok. Their skeletons lay about the Earth in Midgard. And you don't know who Hellwar is really. I'll leave it mysterious. You can kind of figure out who he is and his brother is if you guys do a search. It's not Thor or his kids, his offspring, but that's his band right there. They're all somewhat Nordic, either in history or mythology, or in my mythology. And Hellwar, Bert Hellwar, he's the actual guitar player of the band. He's not the singer.
Okay.
So
I love the bear on his shoulder. That's so cool.
Oh yeah, that's a little hint of who he is.
Yeah, he's a berserker, I guess.
Yeah, he's not a berserker, but he goes pretty crazy sometimes when he has to. He's definitely someone out of history, folklore.
Yeah. The berserker, that it basically means bear shirt.
Right. And then and he went solo, right? And then you have the Ufedner, which were the wolf gangs that were the wolf pelts.
Yeah. I can't help it, but I think of like war.
Yeah, a little bit of that too.
Yeah,
that could be a question, man. Do you want to be part of the Uferdner, or do you want to be part of the wolves, or do you want to be in a pack, or you want to go by yourself head on and be a fucking berserker in life? That's a good way to look at it.
It's there's a board game called Ragnarok, and you could be the wolf tribe, the bear tribe, the serpent tribe. I'm always the raven tribe.
Nice.
I'm Odin all the way. Odin and the Ravens all the way. Yeah, it's my favorite.
And there's a little bit of Odin in here, and Odin. Like there's little like hints that he's around. Like you could see them up there on the telephone poles. That's the first page.
Oh, there's ravens up here. Yep.
They're kind of chilling in the background every now and then.
Yeah,
you'll see them.
Just gathering information, thought and memory, just looking at stuff.
It's probing. And that's so a lot of the first part of the book's in California. In the 90s, during the metal scene. So he's right there. He's in Death Valley. He takes on the Death Valley Draugr,
Okay.
And, he's looking for the horn, someone's horn for some reason, I think And I had to block out some of the gore because it was too much for Kickstarter. I actually had to make an additional trailer because it was too violent for Kickstarter, and I had to read it on my page.
It's funny. Kickstarter, you can have any booby comic book you want, but a little bit of blood and gore, it's a problem.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't have any prawn in here, but I do have strippers. Maybe him and his brother go out and have a little fun once they get out of Helheim and they hit the strip.
I'm not a prude. Like, if it's appropriate for the comic, it's appropriate for the comic. I mean,
exactly.
I bought a comic. Oh, it doesn't matter. But I bought a comic about a stripper girl, and it's actually a really good read.
Oh yeah.
But it's not appropriate in Batman, is what I'm saying.
Right.
Or Superman. Oh, look at that. Is that Garm?
It sure is, yeah. And cool. Garm, he's a real asshole in here.
Yeah, well,
So there's a scene like he's basically his brother Wreckbolt. He's been in prison for so long, and he can always hear Garm like in the background, like a mile away, talking shit. And he's just like, "Fuck you!" And Hellwar hates him too. So like Hellwar will have a conversation with him, but he'll have like a bag of heads of like some Draugr. He's like, "Yeah, okay, all right," and he'll just throw the bag like, "Get out of here, Fluffy." And the Garm's just like, "Fuck you, motherfucker!" And he jumps out of the way, and he'll go and grab you may be. He'll tell Hellwar, you may be. He'll say, "You know what? I may be Hell's guard dog. I may be a guard dog, but you're Hell's bitch."
Garm is always the forgotten giant dog.
He is,
because everybody knows Fenrir, but everybody.
Fenrir.
Yeah,
and there's some there might be some Fenrir in here. Some mention of him.
I love this face over here in the corner. That it kind of looks like a more muscular Lemmy from Motorhead.
Well, yeah, Lemmy is a big influence on here. My uncle, my dad, me. Also a singer of Amon Amarth too. That dude, Johan. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I have tons of influences in here. I've been doing like little mini kind of not articles, but essays, little mini essays, on Twitter, showing my inspiration. Definitely Walter Simonson's Ragnarok. Definitely Thor. His Thor, zombie Thor. Definitely Lobo by Bisley and Giffen, and also definitely Incredible Hulk. Kirby and Lee.
Yeah, look at this.
So he's chilling right there. He's tranquil. He's got a cabin up in Big Bear. So he's you got Big Bear, California. You got Hollywood, California, and you got Death Valley. So they're all kind of there. And eventually he has to go to Norway later on, or Scandinavia later on in the book. So imagine if like the world serpent, when it fell after him and Thor had that falling out in Ragnarok, and Jormungandr falls and his skeleton is there. So there's this group of black metal elves. They make a whole colony just in that spinal section, and they live there. So they end up having to go there later on in the book to do something for part of the mission for Elnora,
Yeah, you're really good with faces.
Oh, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. I know I respect that. This is the roots of Nidhogg, and in the story, I had to do something different with the Nine Realms, so it was really hard, man. Like I was trying to do something different. Kirby's got his thing, Simonson had his thing, and he'd been working on the Kirby stuff forever with Marvel, but he's like, fuck that, I'm gonna do my own thing, like later on in life, and I love that. So what I did was I actually put the Nine Realms are in Scandinavia. Each country is a different realm.
Okay.
And the roots of Yggdrasil, they actually go into the earth like a Burroughs novel, and it's like Placidor, so the roots of Yggdrasil are actually in the hollow earth. So that's what's going on in there.
Oh, cool.
So if you take a cave, like say in Norway, a certain cave will turn into a root that takes you down into the earth,
Oh, somebody's agreed. Lemmy, nice. Yep.
Yeah, and Lemmy always used to drink at this bar called the Rainbow, and he was towards the end, and it's right next to the Roxy, and it's right there on Sunset Boulevard.
Right. Yeah. He had like a little modest apartment above like a record store on Sunset Boulevard.
Yeah, and he has his own
$24
seat,
billion in the bank, and he still had like a little modest apartment.
Yeah, he just liked hanging out down there, and it was a good time, from like his era till the 90s even, and in there it's not the Rainbow though. I changed it to the Bifrost. Okay. So that's the Bifrost, dude. And the Roxy is the Foxy, and then the Whiskey Go-Go, they play there. It's not the whiskey, it's the Raspy, and Rasputin owns it. Rasputin's the bartender, that fucker from history.
Cool.
For fun.
Yeah.
I love what Mignola did with him in Hellboy, and I'm like, I want to do something. I can make him like a Doctor Strangeian type character.
Yeah, I love Hellboy. I'm a big Hellboy fan. I get anything Mike.
My favorite comic. Yeah.
But every once in a while, I'm just like, why was Rasputin working with the Nazis? Like that's to me, that's still the biggest what the F.
I would have made him just his own thing, like he would have been his beyond them. It's just too powerful in my book. Right here, I was trying to go for something terrifying. I had this vision in my head of them, of Hellwar and Wreckbolt, his brother. His brother's superpower would be one of them that he could learn things very quickly. Okay. So he picks things up fast. So he teaches them how to play guitar really quick. He's like, all right, we're going to go up on stage, and they're going to remember me. I know the singer. We're going to play something. We're going to ask him something. And what happens is that they piss off these black metal elves, and the lights just go out. And I just had this vision in my head of just darkness and these white corpse paint faces looking up at him with black lipstick and teeth full of like sharp teeth. I didn't execute it, but I think it came off okay, kind of cool.
It's kind of spooky.
Good. Okay.
You know what? I don't. Did you ever read the Anne Rice books?
No, but I definitely am familiar with the lore. I loved the movie growing up. The Interview with the Vampire. Thought it was dope.
Yeah, in the first interview with the vampire. Or no, I forget which one it was. I read them all and they all blended into one. But there's one scene where Lestat was talking, so it must have been the second book. Lestat is on stage, and vampires have all of these weird powers, and one of them is they could look into a crowd and they could remember every face. They could see everything. Like they have this amazing process speed, and there's just one face. Yeah. There's just one face in the crowd that terrified him.
Oh shit!
and they left it out of the movies, but every once in a while he would see this face that was, and they never explained it in the vampire books, but it turned out it was the Mummy. Ramses the Mummy. It was like little. The Mummy was immortal too, and every once in a while he would just cross paths with Lestat.
I always saw the Mummy was like Dracula in a way, like the Egyptian Dracula.
I never read the Mummy books or the Witch book. I read all the vampire books. I could talk about my disappointment with the last 3 books for hours, but this is your time, and I'm really digging the. Are you a tattoo artist?
No, I mean I thought about doing it, but I didn't want to like fuck up someone's body or something like that.
How do you start? How are you a rookie tattoo artist?
You have to practice on probably friends and family and people are willing to do it, and have that that steady hand, and also like have the ability to tat for like 16 hours, but I hear it's very, very lucrative. But also you're dealing with the element when you go there, and you're dealing with cash. So a lot of it's under the table, and then you have to deal with the element, if you know what I'm talking about. And that can be a multitude of things. And I don't want to deal with that. I'm married with children.
I love this picture. I love this guy with the chains on his forearm.
Oh, okay. That chain's kind of important in mythology, in Scandinavian mythology. And that's the last of the Death Valley Drogs, and this is after the preview that's up on the page. They basically invade his home. He's sitting there chilling, drinking some meat out of his Odin horn, and playing some guitar, just chilling, relaxing, out in the forest, because Hell War is one with nature, just like the Hellbinger. The Hellbinger is kind of like a cross, like between Animal Man and Swamp Thing put together. Okay. So he's out there chilling, and these guys they're coming looking for him, his whole crew, and they find him, and so it's hard though. It was hard it's hard nerfing him. You know what I mean? Like, because he's pretty powerful, but it's really hard, like basically having your character get his ass kicked. So I tried to like let him get fucked up a lot in the book. He gets his ass beat 3 times, like pretty bad. So
this chain is this. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but is it the chain that held the Midgard serpent?
No, it's not. But I'm glad that you brought up a possibility. But no, it's not.
and as I said it, I realized it was wrong, because that wasn't a chain. It was a tiny thread. And that was the only reason why the Midgard serpent, not the Midgard serpent, Fenris Wolf allowed himself to be tied, because it didn't look impressive. But it was made out of thoughts and memory. Yeah. So he was bound by his own thoughts and memories. I love all this stuff.
I do too, and it's like I want to create my own universe, but then I love Viking mythology, so I like have to do my saga, and I love metal, and they go together really good.
Yeah.
Like it all just kind of goes together good. Even if I didn't execute it right, someone else could. It's fucking perfect. So it's like I had to do it, and then I want to work on my own stuff too, but I had to do this. They're chained up right there. That's him and his brother. They're in a pickle right there.
When you were on last time, you were showing the beginnings of this, right?
I don't think so. Maybe like the last page of Butch Cleaver, because I was originally going to have this as a colored book, but then I changed the idea. I was just like, nah, I want to make this black and white.
I think I like this black and white. It fits that like do-it-yourself bootleg, but
Yeah, I was definitely leading into that, and then I also love like the Savage Sword of Conan. I know that's it's with all those different artists too. Obviously, it doesn't look like that. It's definitely more indie and bootleg looking. But that's definitely in my mind when I'm thinking about this stuff, man.
Yeah, I'm toying with the idea of a black and white comic too.
Yeah, and then also, people like black and white. There's just a whole audience for it, different audiences actually altogether. That's Helheim right there, and here's all the tears.
Okay,
that's one of her guards. She has her own currency with their knuckles have her head on them, kind of.
Where am I in this picture?
Yeah, that's Helheim. You can kind of see her. She's kind of like a kaiju size, and she's basically coming down the stairs, and she's coming down to his form. I wanted to make her kind of like Barda, kind of big.
Yeah.
Like a big girl, but kind of scary, but kind of pretty at the same time.
Yeah.
You look at her, go, she's pretty, but nah, but
So you got a digital tier, yeah.
First time doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was dragged kicking and streaming into digital tier, but you know what? I'm glad I did it.
Me too. I see those shipping numbers, brother. They're like 40, 50, 80 to certain countries. I'm like, what? This is ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
how you doing, man? Thanks for stopping by.
Shipping is just getting nuttier and nuttier. And I had a lot of people in Europe saying, I like your channel, but I'm not paying $40 shipping for a $10 comic.
Yeah, it's insane. It's not fair. So I'm trying
they got the digital, and then they said, when you got like 6 or 7 comics, I'll buy them all. So I got future sales if I last.
Absolutely, man. And I think at the end of the day, whether we want it or not, we actually want people to read our work.
Right. And now whenever I get a sale, I'm like, I gotta go get a box. Like, oh, it's a digital. Here's the file. I'm done.
Yeah, right.
People love black and white. It's a cool stuff. Yeah. So like most superhero stuff, like I'm doing traditional superhero stuff. That's got to be in color. But this is suited, horror, some sci-fi, like
sword and sorcery, and I think hard boiled too works pretty good in there.
Yeah. Like that you'd have, to me, for like a hard boiled detective, you'd lean into dark and shadows and stuff like
Sin City, or even not Sin City,
Yeah. Like I said, I'm toying with the idea of a black and white comic. We'll see what happens.
And it saves a little bit too, I mean, that is a thing.
Well, that's just it.
It matters, but
the comic that I'm thinking of a black, I'm going to do a color version and then maybe a bonus black and white. So like, you
know what I want to do with that? I'm thinking about doing that St. Patrick Snake Slayer book next. And I want to do a leather bound book, and I want to do it black, white, and green.
Oh, I was about to say that black, white, and green is the only color.
Just because it's Ireland, and then I would do it really. It would be still kind of dirty like this, but just really like a lot of textures and zipatones and stuff like that. Every book has a different format and concept and composition with me. I also have like a vigilante kind of Steve McQueenian type car book that I wanted to do. Like in the maybe 70s, 80s, 60s, maybe, I don't know. there's just a lot of ideas, and we're living in and we're coming out of a dark age.
I have a lot of ideas, and
we're in a renaissance right now, man, of indie, and people are buying books right now. Books are getting funded like all last week. It's really kicking off within this month. It's starting now. You know, you might not be pulling down like, you know, $40,000 on your campaign or $100,000, but you're definitely going to be, if you want, you could work a job and put out a book, and you're going to get funded.
That's what I'm doing. If I could break even on a book, I consider it a success.
We can do that now. We can do that as a movement, as a community. We can fucking do that. It's doable now.
So far, I'm doing pretty good. So far, you know.
Yeah, you're doing great. Yeah.
My first book, I made a profit, and I rolled that into my second book. The second book, I broke even, but the money left over from the first book, I was able to roll that into my third book. You know what I mean? It's like
that's what I want to do.
So I'm still doing pretty good. So, you know, my next campaign that I'm hoping to launch sooner rather than later, you know.
It's just, if you do like for this book, it's a big book, so it's going to cost more. That's why my campaign goal is so much. It's 3,500.
6 pages, but you're drawing it yourself. Like, I'm laying out the money for an artist, you know.
Yeah. So I get to save on a lot of money, but for me to print a lot of them and to have the shipping, and you know, a lot of people like, so I put the shipping in there. I don't charge you later on, like, 6 months from now, what the fuck, $50? Like, one guy I was talking to, he told me he got an $80 charge on one of the books he backed, and I'm like, yeah, that ain't gonna happen. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna charge.
Is he out of the country? Because
he was in Canada. He was in Canada, to be fair.
You know, Canada is the most expensive.
Yeah,
I've shipped stuff to Poland, and it was the same price as Canada, but that's Poland. That's halfway around the world.
And then Norway, I did it.
England, and it was cheaper than Canada, and it takes longer.
Most of them, it's the U.S., but you do get Canada a little, and maybe like a Norway or one Norway, one Finland, maybe one Mexico. And it was fucking weird because comics are so big in Japan and in France, they're not really into the whole YouTube comic book kind of crowdfunding scene, it seems like. Yeah, hopefully we'll tap into that.
I had one American, I think he's in the military, and when he ordered my book, he was in America, you know, so he paid the American shipping. But when I went to ship it, it was in Japan.
Oh wow, okay.
So he was real cool, and he sent me extra money. He goes, I didn't mean to screw you. I didn't know I was going to get shipped, you know. So I was like, thank you. Yeah,
that's cool of him.
Comic books are for nerds. Thank you. Yeah. That's MSK over here. I want to make Long Box Gate.
Yeah, I'm in Barbarian Gate right now. I do like Barbarian content on my channel. Yeah, Barbarian Gate over here. You know, that's what's up. Yeah. Oh, I got a bunch of tiers, all covers. Like, it's mine and Preston. I got commissions on there. If you guys get a commission from me, you're also going to get both the covers. And it's 11 by 17, so it's different size of the book. It's traditional, you know. And I'll pretty much draw anything. I just don't do the non-safe for work. I don't do prawn, and I don't do furry bullshit. So I'm just letting you know. So I got one. I didn't think I'd get any. I got one already. It's freaking amazing. I can't wait to see what they want me to draw.
Can I play your trailer?
Absolutely. It's my music too, by the way. And it's a little cringe, but that was what I was leaning to. It's old man Hell War, not young Hell War.
I've been Hell's bounty hunter for hundreds of years, and if I didn't work with metal, be it by blade, song, or steed, the Hellbender from within would take hold. After Ragnarok, throughout the 9 realms, I became known as Hell War. And I had but one final mission to complete, for Helnora to set me and my brother Rekbold free. This is a yarn taken from the last day of my saga, where some surprises from my past come back to haunt me. In 106 pages of inky black and white, coffee-stained photocopy, gore-shredded Viking metal in a comic, and brought to you by way of heavy metal record size and form. In this campaign, I'm offering physical and digital versions of the book, as well as traditional art, pages, sketch cards, and commissions. And all first day backers will receive a free sketch card of a random character from the Hell War universe, as well as the title track, the MP3, Hell War. Through Hell or War, you're gonna ride with me. Beyond the ages, we want to be free from Ragnarok. Again will be made. The better of slightly nightmare is heard from again. Through Hell or War, you're gonna ride with me.
thanks again for having me on the show. I appreciate it. Thanks for bringing me out here in such style, man. I do appreciate that.
Oh yeah, that looked great. I loved it. It's funny because I was an '80s kid, and in the '80s it was the metal kids versus the punk kids.
Yeah,
and now as I'm older, I think the punk kids are all cringe, and I really like the metal kids. I'm like, oh man, all the punk kids are so self-righteous, and all the metal kids were just having a good time.
They're a little more nerdy, to be honest with you, the nerds, the metalheads, But the thing is, for a lot of the metal that I listen to, it wouldn't exist without punk. Like they had to have both, Like I was talking about in the other stream, like metal it came from the blues, it came from Howlin' Wolf and Chuck Berry, Then like the Beatles played rock and roll, and then after that it went over to Black Sabbath, and then you have Motorhead with their double bass pedal, and it started getting heavier, and Lemmy's voice brought that heaviness to the sound, and then you have the Bay Area thrash with Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, Anthrax, those bands, and then you move on to death metal from Florida. It got big in Florida, and also with I don't know, it could just keep going on. Then the Scandinavians like Amon Amarth and In Flames, and this whole scene, it just kept blowing up, So you wouldn't have the aggression with metal without punk.
Okay.
So they're brothers, dude. They're just brothers. I
do think that metal and punk they share more in common.
They do.
But the joke that me and my friends used to say is you're punk until you learn how to play, and then you become metal.
Yeah, it's true. And that's fun too, man. Like, I totally agree with that, But yeah, they're definitely brothers, and when they first came out, it was probably brutal, like, because it was just so like, just what is it? Aggression, music crime, So.
Yeah, there's a band that I still love, GBH, the English band. They're the ones with the great big bowl. That's what my friends used to call them, great big haircuts, but it was grievous bodily harm. GBH, and and their first couple of albums, it was just like three chords shouting the same sentence over, and then their last album is like a thrash metal band. I'm like, oh, they learned how to play over 25 years.
That's thrash, dude. It's metal and punk as far as I'm concerned. And I love thrash.
Really is the perfect blend. It is,
dude. It is, and then you could kind of get in there and fuck with it a little bit and add little other subgenres to it. But if you base your band on thrash, you're in good hands, I think, personally.
Did you ever listen to the Bad Brains?
Yeah, they're pretty cool. They have their own style. There's really no one that sounds like them. There's a lot of bands like that with metal where they're just kind of iconoclastic in their own subgenre.
Because you love metal. The first couple of Bad Brains albums, and it's really, I mean, it's some of the best punk, because these guys knew how to play their records. And then by the time they got to Eye Against Eye, it was like just like a good blend of punk and metal, really good metal. And then after that, they were basically rock and roll metal.
I was talking about that with Alice Matt on the last stream. It's like I feel that like a lot of bands, like on their first three albums, they're kind of the best. Usually, obviously, there's some anomalies. A lot of the time, But the thing is, they have a lot to say. They have a lot of angst. Usually, they're younger and they're more passionate. And I feel that's like that with art too sometimes. But then sometimes you have like a resurgence album or an era where you come back and you're like, all right, I'm gonna hit it. But you got to find your inspiration. You got to find your angst, and you got to find the will to make art.
Like I mean, this band has nothing to do with that conversation, but the Sugar Cubes, they would talk about Bjork, and she said they had 10 years to work on that first album. And I think the first Sugar Cubes album is phenomenal, and then they were told make a second album within 6 months.
Right.
And that's and then it just sucks. It just absolutely sucks. That's what happens to a band. You get to practice, you go on the road, you write these songs, and
there's this band, Gojira.
Make another album right now.
Yeah, what am I gonna do?
Yeah.
There's this band called Gojira, like Godzilla. They're called Gojira. I think they named their name Godzilla, but they were gonna get like sued or something, so they switched over to Gojira. But it sounds better. But they were kind of getting mainstream for what mainstream would be now, And they did a whole album, and they just said, no, it's not good, And they got a very tribal, heavy sound. It's weird. They're from France, but they did a whole album, and they just fucking threw it away. They're like, yeah, we got to make it a little more catchier or something. I'm like, what? But yeah, it's crazy.
My favorite lost album story is I grew up listening to the Beach Boys, and I've never been a big Beach Boys fan, but you can't deny that they're a big American band.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah,
and then he heard, what's his name? Why can't I think of it? Brian Wilson.
Brian Wilson's album, his solo album.
No, he heard Jimi Hendrix. Are You Experienced?
Oh yeah,
and he was listening to that album, and then Sgt. Pepper's, and then Third Stone from the Sun. It says, they'll never play surf music again. And he was like, they're talking, Jimi Hendrix mocking me. Like, who wants to listen to I Get Around or Run Around Sue with this? He's like, I've never heard me. And he had like an existential crisis. And he went into the studio and he was trying to make his Sgt. Pepper's, and he made Smiley Smile. And the studio was like, what in God's name is this album? It's, and they hated it. And they cut a couple of songs off of it, like Good Vibrations came off of it.
Yeah.
And the rest of the album they got rid of, and they repackaged a couple other songs. And it wasn't until 1988 where he wrote another song, that Kokomo. He got so hurt by that. So I was
do that.
I got to hear this album. So on YouTube, you could listen to Smiley Smile.
Oh, wow.
It's awful. It's bizarre. It is.
So it was
really
bad,
trippy. And I was like,
dude, I heard one of their songs where they did a solo album, and it had just a bunch of like electronical weird noises that were really. I just couldn't feel it, man. It wasn't like good. It wasn't like their catchy fucking.
No, it was
like surfer music.
It's like one song. I really like vegetables. I really.
Yeah.
It's like, man, you took too much LSD. There's a fine line.
Yeah. And I go there for their harmonies and their hooks. That's why I listen to the Beach Boys. Right. They're catchy songs. I mean, that's what they're good. Like certain bands, I go there for their technicality. Some bands, I want their fucking hooks. Because it sounds so good, and they're so good at it. That's what they do. But I do think that people do need to push themselves into uncomfortable territories as artists. Sometimes you're not going to get a good result, but you have to do that. You have to go there. You can't stay complacent all the time. Personally, that's my opinion.
So I got into, I just as much as I was into comics, I was into bands, and I was always looking for the new bands, and I was going to bands all the time. I just don't have the fire to do that anymore. Mm-hmm. And it's like a good 15 years where I knew, I'll say like from 2000 to maybe 2018 even.
Yeah.
I didn't know any new bands. I knew nothing. I was just like, I became like an old man. I was just listening to stuff that I already knew. And I discovered Pandora.
Oh, yeah.
So I'll put on a Motorhead station. So I'm listening to Motorhead. And you know how Pandora just plays other stuff. I'm like, what is this band? So I've been in the past.
Channel, a good show.
Since 2018, I probably bought like 20 LPs, which is a lot for me, considering I bought nothing for 18 years.
Yeah, yeah.
And people laugh like, oh, I've known that band for 20 years. I'm like, well,
like, you know, snobby about it.
Yeah,
it's funny how people get so snobby about shit.
I want to talk about them. I just discovered them. Have you ever listened
my back pocket band? Yeah, people get snobby about everything. They get snobby about comics, books, fucking video games, metal or bands, and anything. I'll tell people like I don't know what the fuck.
I try not to, and if I do it, call me on it. Like. When people talk, oh, well, what do you mean you don't know the John Byrne run of the Fantastic Four? Oh, yeah, you're 22 years old. This comic came out before you were born. Yeah, all right. But like, have you ever heard of a band called Cadaver?
Sounds familiar. Yeah, I think I have heard
they're
of
a Norwegian band, but like, it's like they're a Norwegian band. I wouldn't, but they don't sound like the name Cadaver sounds like they should sound like Slayer or something like that.
Yeah, it sounds like death metal.
It sounds like they would be
like Carcass.
It sounds like they should be opening up for a Black Sabbath.
Yeah, or it could be like that type of band, doom metal.
Yeah, they're just like three guys, big long beards, and and it's just catchy guitar riff. It's really good.
That's how I am though, dude. I love catchy metal. Like I'm sorry, I like a hook, but I like a little technicality. Sometimes I don't like too much.
Yeah,
it is what it is.
I got to check out the band on your shirt.
Oh yeah, you'll love them on a Marth. Yeah, and I think they get better with each album. The last album though. It was pretty good, but it was just a little. I mean, it's cool, but it's a little too anthem rock for me. It almost has it's like their AC/DC album, if that makes sense. But it still fucking slaps. It's still great. But they actually got better with each album than most bands. Well, not better, but they stayed the same, but they experimented within their realm, within their guardrails, and that's hard. I think that's hard to do is to be real to yourself, be real to your fans, but then also come up with something creative and stay within the guardrails of that world.
I think hard rock and metal is like a younger. You got to have that adrenaline and testosterone.
You have to find it. You have to be like working out, and you have to be like living life a lot. You have to go look for stuff.
For all my female fans, both of you, like that's why there's not too many female heavy metal bands.
And it's a pirate life, man. Like being on the road, and that's why a lot of them could keep writing because they're touring all the time and they're living life that way. Like Conan, or a pirate. They're going around, or a Viking. they're going around and they're traveling to different places and they're absorbing different cultures and they're hanging out with other bands that they're touring with. So they're getting inspiration. So they could do it. They could keep getting inspired. It's easier that way, I think.
Are you into ska at all?
I used to be. That was one of the first styles of music I was doing. I was doing more like that type of stuff. Sublime. We were doing covers. Then I started moving into like new metal. We were covering Deftones, Korn, a little bit of Stain. Then I started moving into Scandinavian metal. That's when we started listening to more like In Flames and those type of bands. Then I started covering. Then I started writing my own music by that time. I've been into this Scandinavian metal for like the last 23 years, I think. I just went there and I couldn't stop. It just clicked. I just kept
you're
going.
You're younger than me and you're more into it than me, but it just seems like metal died. Rock and roll died.
Yeah, I think it died for sure, like on the radio, but around in to be honest with you, man, like a lot of the music that I like, it kind of died like in the middle like of aughts, like in the beginning of the aughts, like maybe 2010 or something. But I think the American like music, like grunge and alternative rock scene, I think that kind of died like right around 2002. But for me, like the indie scene kind of, it's still good. There's still tons of music, but a lot of the stuff that I liked really was like peaking out at that point. These bands are still putting out music, but a lot of it's kind of, they're rehashing a lot of the shit. And a lot of the new bands that are coming in, they're kind of low key sounding like a lot of the stuff that already came out, and they're just kind of kit bashing it, if that makes sense. And I'm just like, I'm not really feeling it. It's kinda...
I was too old for like Linkin Park and stuff like that. That came out when I was really working full time, and I wasn't really into but you see clips of these bands playing, they filled out freaking stadiums.
Yeah. That band was pretty good, I thought. They're a rap metal, new metal band. Right. That dude had a good singer.
Rap metal. I remember when that Run DMC Aerosmith came out. That was the first one. Yeah, that blew people away.
Yeah.
And then I went to go see Anthrax a few times, and they were doing some rap metal. And I remember it was like all of a sudden there was black guys at the shows.
Yeah.
Whenever I went to these punk and metal, it was all white kids. It was all white kids from Long Island. You know what I mean? They're pulling up a dad's station wagon, filled with 600 kids. And then Ice-T came out with Body Count.
Body Count, yeah.
Anthrax. Yeah. I saw Ice-T and Body Count with Anthrax. They were touring together. And it was like gangsta black kids and suburban punk white metal kids. And we were all just hanging out before the show, and
totally.
And then it died. And now as I'm an older,
then it got bigger again in the 90s. Because that was the 80s. That was the 80s. It was trying to grow probably, and it didn't hit. It was before its time probably. Body Count and that song Kill a Beast, but then it exploded with like Korn and Limp Bizkit and Deftones and Slipknot, which they took the Slipknot was the heaviest band. I'd say Slipknot on actual radio play. It was Slipknot and System of a Down, and they're both kind of tiptoed in that shit. But as far as guitar crunch and aggressive vocals go, there still hasn't been a heavier band than those two on the radio as far as American airwaves,
Yeah, I just wonder if people are like, oh man, black kids and white kids are getting along. We got to put a kibosh on this. Know what I mean? We got to stir up racial.
We got to weaponize it,
because man,
got to drive people apart. That's always a big thing.
Don't realize it. We were like, we had like skinhead kids hanging out with the hoodiest black kids ever. We were all just hanging out, drinking beer, talking, and talking about music, and the white kids were listening to rap, the black kids were listening to Lemmy and Motorhead, and now,
I mean, you're gonna get bored listening to the same shit. People need cleansers, people need to cleanse. So
because I saw the Beastie Boys with Run DMC, and then
see, Beastie Boys is a good example. I mean, they started out as a punk band, and then they turned into hip hop, which is basically rap, and they were doing rap rock, and stuff like that.
The name of the metal band that opened with them, but it was a metal Beastie Boys Run DMC show, and it was just everywhere you looked. There was no fights, And
in some ways too, that's why like they try to fit bills with like a little where the bands don't sound the same all the time. That way it kind of, they like to do that. Me, I kind of like, I'm kind of set in my ways. I like my certain bands, and I'd like to see these, but
nowadays I want to go see one band and I want them to do 6 songs, and then I want to go home because I'm tired and I'm old.
Oh yeah.
The last concert I saw by myself I saw the Melvins, and I was just like, guys, enough. It's 12:30 at night.
Well, they come on late, really. The headliners a lot of the time, But what I do like about that was probably pretty pricey. That was probably about a good $60, right, to go see them.
The Melvins. This was like 10 years ago.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, they're pretty big though. The Melvins.
My wife and I went to go see Big Bad Voodoo Daddy. I still like that swing.
Oh yeah, the swing, like the
swing stuff.
Yeah, that's cool. You know, was it Brian Setzer and
and we saw the Brian Setzer orchestra. He doesn't. I think he has multiple sclerosis now. I think
that's fucked up.
But
we hear about Chuck Norris, dude. Chuck Norris just fucking got hospitalized, dude.
Really?
Yeah, we're praying for that guy. You know,
I didn't know.
Even though I listen to the metals and stuff, and you know, I'm a Christian. But the thing is, dude, like a lot of people, like someone was saying, like, dude, there's a lot of bands I don't even like, but I want to go fucking see them because everybody's dying right now, you know. And I'm like, damn, there's a lot of bands I want to see that, like, I would like to just see just live, you know. And the thing about it is, if you're in a band, dude, you got to perform, bro. You got to get up there and perform for people. Like, you got to put on a show. You got to put on it. You really do. It's your. You got to do it somehow and find that artist in you, you know. Do something fun to kind of not just play the music. It's hard, dude. But you got to do that. I had
a dream a couple of nights ago. I woke up and I was laughing, and I told my wife, and she was laughing at me. But I dreamt that I saw the Rolling Stones. I never saw the Rolling Stones, but they were old men.
Yeah.
And it was Keith Richards and Mick Jagger, and they were like just shriveled up old men. And the rest of the band was all young kids, and they played like 4 songs. That was the end of the show. And for some reason,
Walker, and he's spinning around and grabbing it.
They just walked over here and started signing autographs. It's a dream. And I was the first one in line, and I was just like, "Oh man, they should sign my comic book." And then my comic book was in my hand, and you know, Mick Jagger signing, Keith Richards signing it. You know, we're talking about comics, and then I woke up like, "What a stupid dream!" But dreams are fun.
They're there for a reason, you know, and you're thinking about something. And getting your comic books in places like that are not comic book stores, that's not a bad thing because you're the only market there. So they kind of have to look at it. I was talking about that earlier too. I gotta branch out, you know.
Yeah, I got stuff doing
car shows.
I was just filling out forms for a convention.
Well, conventions are good too, you know. Those are I would say keep going, bro. You know,
maybe I haven't done one yet. The problem is I do construction, and with overtime on the weekends, I make a lot of money on the weekends.
Yeah,
you know, and a couple of guys are like, "Come on, man, let's do the convention." I'm like, "Well, how much money did you make?" And they're like, "Well, it's not really about money." You know, I ended up losing 20. I'm like, dude,
well, I mean, I
can make $1,000 if I work a Saturday. You know what I mean? Like, I can't lose that money just to do a convention.
If you can't lose the money, that's one thing. But if you are gonna, it's about kind of growing, you know, your readership.
Yeah, I got to do it. I got to do it.
You know what I mean? If you can take the hit, you're going to take a couple hits. You're probably going to take hits on people not buying the books, and you're also going to take hits on missing your job. But you're gonna build the patriarch name. You know, I think that's important.
I have to do it.
It just has to be a calculated hit. Like when you're going to go to Vegas, I'm going to lose $500, and I'm not
gambling to me. I'll just go to Vegas. I'll go to all the cafeterias, eat the food, and
then the lobsters and shit,
and go home because I can't gamble. I don't know how to gamble.
I don't gamble either, but I'm just saying if I would, you're not getting that money back. It's a calculated risk. You're going to go spend $200, and that's it. And you're going to leave. My grandfather, he gambled everything down into the kitchen sink on my mom's side. I learned at a young age. Like, that's a crazy addiction. You know, so that and drinking and smoking.
Likes to gamble, but he's you know, and he's like a vice president of Price Waterhouse, so he'll get like these weekend packages.
Yeah.
So he's like, my wife's like, so me and him will go down, and I don't even gamble.
It's hard, dude. It's hard to quit from that. It's very addictive. I heard it's one of the most addicting things.
He'll put money in piles. Like this is eating, this is this, and he's like very disciplined. You know, you don't make it up that high in the business world up.
Right.
And that's what he does. Okay, if I spend this much money, then it's but you know.
Yeah.
I don't gamble, but it's fun to go.
Yeah, it's fun to go. I went with my buddy one time. He's a pro, right? He's like, all right, Matt Burke, you want to come with me? You want to watch me gamble? He's like, let me show you something, you know? And he's like, you don't play the cards, you play the people.
Right.
So he's sitting there and he's talking to people that are having a good time, you know, do. He's like, give me $20. I'm gonna make it 40 for you. And so we do that, and I just watched him play, and what he did. He was right. And then he's like, Matt Burke, they're gonna tell me to sit back down. Like, where are you going? We're just getting started, but I'm not. I'm gonna take my money that I win and I'm gonna leave.
I said, okay. I do like
he did that. We left. We stayed for 2 hours. You know, it was fun.
I got a big card table right over there because I'm into board games. Like if you were to come over and a couple of guys, we you know,
yeah,
nickel and dime play. That's fun for me. But
Vegas, play for beers and shit. Yeah, play for comics or I don't know, something small, popcorn. Who gives a fuck?
You know, little fun gambling, but I'm not going to go to Atlantic City. I'm going to go to Vegas. I don't like to gamble.
Vegas, I heard Vegas is doing bad right now. They're showing like they're not.
Yeah, it's too expensive.
They're not doing too well. I don't think people, you know. And when you go there, you get you get worse than you get the what is it, the con crud in your lungs. You go to the con book.
Yeah, it's expensive now. People
in Vegas because all the smoke in there, you get that in your lungs. You're like, oh, you can't even breathe when you come out of there. I remember going there. I went there when I was 21. We stayed at the Paris, but it was fun. I had these like a margarita by the yard, and my buddy's mom she made some cookies, those kind, you know what I mean, the fun cookies. Yeah, it was fun. But I didn't really go again after that. It's 2-hour drive from me or 4-hour drive from here, but I'm just not into it, you know. It's not my thing.
The funny thing is that's one of the places my wife and I are thinking of retiring because it's pretty affordable, and I'm like,
that's true.
I like the hot and dry, and people will come to visit.
Yeah, and they have shows there all the time, and so like a lot of the like I heard Tool, you know the band Tool. I heard Tool's going to be like moving. You're going to see some out of the box type of bands that you wouldn't think. They're going to fucking move there, and they're going to be living there and playing there like in the next like 20, 40 years.
Yeah, all the punk rock bands are going to have residence.
Dude, exactly. It's not going to be Elvis and you know Britney Spears and whoever. What's his name? Wayne Newton. None of that.
Yeah, I was laughing. I was like, if Jim Morrison, I said the best thing Jim Morrison ever did for his career was die young, because if that guy was still alive, he would be a fat guy at Vegas, like, you know, break on through to the other side, you know, taking oxygen. And don't forget to tip your waitress. Come on. And he would be a joke, you know.
Yeah. Oh man, that sucks. Poor Elvis, man. You ever see that Bubba Hotep?
Yeah, I love that movie.
That's a great movie.
I love Elvis. And I love Bruce Campbell. So that movie was.
Oh, do you hear about Bruce Campbell, man? You got to see, man. You hear about that shit? He's one of my big like favorite, like the Evil Dead series is my favorite movie trilogy. You know, I love Army of Darkness. That's my favorite. Film series. Like, you know, I love the TV show too. And it's just like, fuck,
yeah.
Man. This book Hell War, and it's weird too because Robert Duvall passed away. And the character Pendergast, you know, it's on that movie Falling Down. It's his last day on the job. That was a big influence on Hell War and the script. You know, it's his last day on the job, and all this stuff starts going fucked up for him. And sad to just kind of see that happen to him. And I love that movie, man. It's in my like top 5. Love Falling Down. Michael Douglas' best movie too, by the way. 100%. Yeah.
It's fun. Am I back?
I think so.
I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, you're back.
My poor man internet, I guess.
It happens, bro.
Yeah. I was saying Robert Duvall's one of my favorite. I have a character in my comics that's inspired by Robert Duvall. You'll see him in Patriarch #1.
Good.
Yeah, and I have an Elvis inspired hero, King Fu. So
I think I might have seen that somewhere.
Yeah, I'm working on the King Fu Christmas special now.
Sweet.
What am I doing? I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm trying to log on so I could show you my Viking inspired hero. But
yeah, that'd be cool.
When I clicked on it, my internet went out for a second, so I guess my overtaxing my stuff.
Well, I'll definitely be looking out for that. Yeah, I remember you were talking about that last time. I think you might have shown me a little something. It looks pretty badass. Yeah. I love Christmas. That's Christmas and Patty's Day are my 2 favorite holidays by far.
It's funny because I'm giving away too many secrets. And I every time I click on this, I think the computer is gonna die. But what is going on? Oh well, it ain't happening. But my friend is. I have a character, the Public Eye, and he's most of his villains are going to be like philosophy based.
Oh, that's cool.
So one of my friends was just like, "Who's that philosopher? Murphy. You should have I'm like, well, Murphy's Law, that's not really a philosopher, but I was just thinking of that would be a great villain, like a little leprechaun that gives you bad luck.
Yeah, and Murphy's Law, like that sounds like a cool character. That could be like kind of like an homage to RoboCop and Murphy from or Judge Dredd and RoboCop. It's Murphy.
Yeah. So you said this comic is almost done. It's almost complete?
Yeah. I mean, it's just editing right now. It's in the editing stage. I mean, I have everything lettered and it's good to go. So
when do you think you'll be able to ship?
Well, I put the latest date's going to be by November, but it should be way before that. That's just like if there's something wrong with the shipping or some catastrophe happens.
Always give yourself a buffer.
Too much time. I put too much time. Yeah, you always have to double the time that it takes. So I want to get it out there as soon as possible. I'm not trying to get it out there too late.
This character will get along with Hell War.
Oh yeah, that's beautiful.
The Shield Maiden. Yeah, so she's my Viking. Yeah. So I love this character. I love Renzo's art. Yeah.
He's great. He's great. He's a great artist. Yeah, I love his art too.
Secondhand Lions and Falling Down are great. I don't know Secondhand Lions, but Falling Down, my friend used to say Falling Down was me. He's like, you lose much.
Yeah, I get that too.
Yeah.
It's okay.
So
not so bad.
So you're the writer, the artist. Are you doing the lettering and everything?
Yeah. I'm doing the lettering on Clip Studio, so that's been pretty fun. So I did one pass on letters, like it's all right. I don't really like it that much. Then I relettered the whole book again. I'll probably reletter it a third time until if it's not perfect. But yeah, so
yeah, lettering is
it's important.
It's super important. One of my friends made a comic book and he got it lettered, and I didn't want to hurt his feelings. Like your friend gives you something, but what I didn't know is he was severely disappointed, and he just wanted to see what I would say, and I was like, well, it's not. Yeah. And he was like, it sucks, right? And I was like, yeah, it's terrible.
That's good. You're a good friend, man.
Lettered. And I realized not giving honest criticism only hurts people.
Well, you got to be honest with your friends and like or even with your kids. Like if if I don't do that, you're setting them up for hell. You really are.
But you know what I like about this? This reminds me of like the Indies black and white, like boom.
Yeah, it's definitely inspired by that too, and like the Crow is a big influence.
The Crow, Teenage Mutant Ninja. I realized I'm looking at your stuff, but it's not on the screen.
Oh no, it's all good. Yeah. I want to touch on that later on. I'll probably put a social media post. There's another book too called Mosaic by Kyle Hotz. He's one of my favorite artists. He did a really, really good book. I highly recommend picking the graphic novel up. They're usually like $14 on Amazon. Okay. It's like a cross between the Crow and Blade Runner, and his ink work on there is just next freaking level.
Cool.
That's one of my favorite books too. That and the whole Hellboy series. So that was a big influence on there. Definitely the Crow, and a lot of those other indie books. Definitely Mad Magazine, Savage Sword, Conan.
Yeah,
a lot of stuff. Heavy Metal Magazine.
I wonder because now Chuck Dixon has that Seven Deadly Sinners.
I know it looks so good. I want that.
I wonder now is like this like
his looks more like 70s though, a little bit.
Right, like I'm trying to think of the right 90s. It is like machismo coming back. The tough
maybe,
guy,
dude.
Like, unabashed.
I think so. Guys. I think so. Yeah, because that's part of the pendulum too. I think of things flipping and changing now.
I'm ready. I'm ready for like. Not over the top, but like unapologetic tough guys to come back. I remember in the late 70s when men would encourage to talk about their feelings, and I remember this article. My friend cut it out of the newspaper and hung it on the refrigerator. It was on that refrigerator for years as like a joke, but it was say goodbye to Clint Eastwood and hello to Alan Alda.
Huh.
Because my friend's father was a big Clint Eastwood fan, He hated Alan Alda. So they hung it up to bother him. But he's the kind of guy that wasn't going to acknowledge it. Right. If he acknowledged it, then the kids won. So that stayed on the refrigerator for like a decade. But it just pissed me off. Even as a kid, I was just like, Clint Eastwood's cool and Alan Alda's an insufferable prick.
Exactly. Well, it's just like men and boys, they need these strong masculine characters as machismo. And women and girls, they need their femininity, and we need a balance, and one cannot exist without the other.
Right, and
women need to be feminine and beautiful, and there's nothing wrong with that. And they can be strong and be feminine and beautiful too. They can be a big
and there's nothing wrong with tomboys.
No, there's nothing wrong with that. You know,
matter of fact, guys like tomboys. You know that
guys love tomboys. Guys love girls without makeup. You know what I mean? Because they know what they look like and they know what they're getting into.
And guys love,
no pun intended.
Like people seem to be comparing Cindy Sweeney to what's the name of that other girl? That
Marilyn Monroe?
Not Marilyn Monroe. Another girl, Sabrina.
Kind of like that, dude. Right? She's kind of like the it girl, like that.
Well, like right now, Sabrina Carpenter is a good-looking blonde, and Cindy Sweeney, and they're saying, how come regular men don't like Sabrina Carpenter, but they love Cindy Sweeney? Because Cindy Sweeney is like, she's authentic. She's not covered in
working on cars and shit, you know.
Yeah,
she's there to make money. She's there to, just be a real person. She's not there to really.
Her brother's in the military.
Not there to make friends, really, and just, not there to make enemies either. But you know what I mean? That's what at least the vibe that she gives off. You know.
I don't know if it's all a real one or not, but she says that her and her brother they work on cars together.
I've seen her changing oil like in one of the ads. It's just that's cool. And she kind of got a little bit of that girl next door look too. A little prettier than a girl next door, but she has that. Like she's approachable. And a lot of guys now, they just don't even go up to chicks because they're afraid of getting called creeps and stuff. It's I'm so glad I'm not part of that. Like I don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, I don't know.
Sorry for men today.
I joke like, what if I suddenly found myself single? It's like, I guess I'm single.
Yeah, no, that's it. Like for me, I'm done.
What do I do?
I'm making more. That means I'm making 2 more. I'm making 5 comics now. That's what that means. I'm writing prose now. I'm in a band now. That's what that.
So did you take art classes? Did you teach yourself to draw?
I did take art in high school. Yeah, in junior high, 8th grade, 9th grade. But I wasn't very productive. I didn't do much. I was really bad. I was messing around. I got to do everything in high school. I got to do everything in growing up. I pretty much anything you could think about it, I did it. And so I have nothing to complain about my first 20 years, but they hit me, dude. I was one of those guys like from the Beach Boys. They opened this new wing, and I've cried about this before, and I'm not going to lie about it, but they opened this new wing in like 9th grade, and it was a new art academy at the school, right? And they're like, "Oh, Matt, your art's fantastic, but your math scores just suck, so we can't let you in." And that killed me. I said, "Fuck art. I'm not doing art ever again." I was like, "Wham," So I went off and just started playing. I took that drive and I put it into music. And I just played music for like 10 years and I quit drawing. And then I quit doing music for a while, doing metal, and I started getting back into art. So I've been doing that since like 2000, I don't know, man, 2000, maybe 13 or something like that, 14. So by like between 2013 to 2016, I had put out my first indie book. So I just went like full force into it. I did the first Butch Cleaver. I was like, this is shit. And then I redid it. I put it away. I redid it. I'm like, all right, this is cool. And my buddy, he's like, hey, man, that's pretty good. You like that, huh? He's like, yeah, well, you're going to want to redo that one too pretty soon. And I didn't understand what he was talking about. No, it's pretty good. But that's how I feel. Now I always want to redo everything. Well, you can't do that, dude. You have to keep going. Art is an evolution.
I've worked with a few artists. By the time they're done with the page, they want to throw it away and restart it. And I'm like, we'll never get done.
It's an evolution.
But I look at my first issue of Heroic Tales, and I'm like, I'm disappointed with it now. At the time, I thought it was the greatest thing. Now I'm like, I wish I did this different. I wish I did this. I wish I didn't do that.
You can't. You just got to move forward because writing because I consider writing as an art form too. And so it's penciling and inking and lettering. It's all art forms. And you're just going to get better on the next one. And it's never changing. It's an evolution. My goal. It's never going to stop.
Just to get a little better with every issue.
You might take some steps back and through the evolution, and then you might evolve more or you might devolve. That's just part of the process. It's just life. It is what it is. But the main thing I think is just keep fucking moving, man.
Yeah, just keep at it. Keep at it.
Oh yeah, keep at it.
So I got to go to bed. I've been up
for sure, man. You're up too late. You need to get some rest. Tomorrow's my day off, so I'm gonna go watch some Primal and eat some. I got some Greek food to eat tonight.
Funny I was talking about Primal at work today with one of the guys.
Got that one episode.
Anything you want to say before we go? Because
just thanks for having me on. Thanks for bringing me out here in such style. I appreciate you. I appreciate it. I appreciate the chat. Iron Man, what's up? Haven't seen you in a bit. If you guys can, please go check out the link and read the first 13 pages. It's just some metal fun. You metalheads out there might get a chuckle at it.
It looks fun.
And if you like it, it's going to be a book like you've never had before. I promise you that. That's a fact.
All right. Thanks a lot, everybody. And I'll see you tomorrow night at midnight. I'm going to do It's Clobbering Time.
Nice.
And I just got to let you know, I don't know about Sunday's comics because I might be working overtime. So I don't know if it's going to be regular time or late at night. Either way, I will be doing it, but just figure I'll let you know now ahead of time. All right. And at that, I will say goodbye, kids. I wish I had more time to talk. I'm just so sleepy. I don't want to. I'm getting dopey. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.